Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoilery gush of A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. As I said, this video will have spoilers in it, so if you haven't read this book, go ahead and check out my spoiler-free review, which will be linked on the screen. So like I've said, basically every time that I've mentioned this book and this series, I don't know how we've gotten here where I'm doing a gush on a Shades of Magic book. Because I have not enjoyed this series overall. It's been a disappointment throughout, and all of a sudden, when my expectations were like in the basement, super low, I end up really enjoying this. What? But I just found this to have such good payoff. Like I said in my review, I still stand by the fact that I think this series could have been a duology. I felt that the second book was crap and meandered way too much, and you just could have tacked on parts of it to the end of the first book and to the beginning of this book and been totally fine. There was a lot of filler and it was not a fun time for me. But this book had a really good plot, really good character arcs. The characters and all the things that they did felt very fulfilling, and it was leading up to all this potential, and it was fantastic. So, how? So first off, let's talk about Lila and Kel, who I still find insufferable, but less so. And I think what happened with Lila is that even though she's like a self-insert character that V.E. Schwab loves way too damn much, she stopped with her annoying monologues all the time. I think she might have only done like one, where she was like, I'm Delilah Bard and I'm like no other girls and blah blah blah. I think I just like got used to that and just was like, whatever, you're annoying. But the fact that now she knows she's Antari was just like, this gets rid of so many problems for me. Because for the longest time it was like, we all know she's Antari, just spit it out already. And why isn't she like questioning these things and what, like all of this stuff with her. And now that she's an Antari and she actually is somebody who's like incomparable, then I'm okay with her cockiness, because it's like, yeah, you're like one of the only Antaris. Like, I'm okay with you being a bit of a shit in that case because you've earned it. Where before I was like, you're a trope. But now I'm like, all right, I'm cool with you. And she just felt like she matured a lot and came into her own, and I enjoyed that about her. She's still not one of my favorite characters, and the romance between her and Kel I still find awful and forced, and just something I just don't buy. I still wish that they would just have remained friends. That would have been amazing. I would have loved that dynamic, like a really close friendship. The fact that they're kissing, I'm just like, nah. Especially when you have other good romances taking place in the series. Like, why do you need them at all? But anyway, I digress. I was able to kind of just like skim over that and be fine with it. I was listening to it on audiobook, and even like the narration felt better for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I was just in like a better mood for it. I don't know. But I mentioned this in my review, I really felt like this was Rye's book, and that this was mostly about Rye and Alucard as like a side, and it was just, that's what I wanted. Rye is my favorite. I think Rye, Alucard, and Holland are my three favorites in the series, and you had a lot more of them in this. You had a lot more of their backstories kind of fleshed out, and their personalities, and they all go through so much and have like really good character arcs, so I really enjoyed that. And Rye is just like my precious. Like, he's just been through so much, and he's such a good person, and he's been through all this loss, and he still takes it like with a smile, and just like, I just love him. He's so strong. He wants to be a good ruler, and he's learned from both of his parents, and I really liked his parents' backstories, and also if you got with both of them, like, those losses felt so good, because it was just like, you learn more about them, and then you feel those losses, like, especially with the king. I was not expecting to, like, be attached to him when that stuff went down. It's just like, you got more of their magic, him and the queens, and the queen being like, here's why we kept Kel at a distance, because I was afraid of breaking him, and like, what fully fleshed out, realized characters. I am so proud. And Ryan Alucard's like romance finally like getting resolved, and them like figuring out what happened back then, and like all this stuff. I love them. I'm very glad that they're happy. I figured they would be, but there's always nervousness. And then you have Holland, who has also been through so much. Oh my gosh. And the fact that like he lost his magic, but like maybe not. And just like all of that kind of stuff. Like, I love the bittersweet endings for people, because there was so much loss, which was justified. That was a horrible, Oseram was like a horrible villain who just wanted to destroy shit, and he did, which was fantastic, because I felt like there was actually a threat there. Like, there was a threat of loss, and not just like, oh, this villain's so bad, and then like nothing happens. Like, this was actually like, the characters felt like they were in danger at all times, and I like my finales to have that element to them where like, it's not like, okay, everyone's gonna be fine. Like, I want there to be an actual like edge of your seat what's going to happen with that, and that's what this was. But I liked how it had these bittersweet endings for a lot of them and stuff where you're not really sure. That also leads on to the next part in the next series. You also have Oseram like maybe not fully gone because he went to Grey London and all of this stuff, and he's influencing that king, and all of these things I felt like they weren't like dropped plot threads, they were purposely left there, and they were like breadcrumbs for the next series, and I thought that was really well done because it's hard to do. There's a lot of series, ACOTAR, where like the finale just like leaves a bunch of stuff up in the air and you're like, why? I know there's another series like or more additional books, but like wrap these up. So this felt like an actually wrapped up trilogy with breadcrumbs for the next series, and that's exactly what you want in a finale like this. I just found all of their character arcs to be so excellent. I found the pacing of this to be so good. Just a fun time. I still am bitter about the first 2 books in the series feeling like a waste to me. Would I still have wanted to read through those to get to this? I don't know. I mentioned this in my review too. Ooh, I don't know, but I'm kind of happy I did. But I'm also completely prepared to read the next book in the next series and be like, and we're back to crap. So, who knows what happens. But this was one of my favorite finales of the year thus far, which is surprising. Comment down below and let me know what you thought of A Conjuring of Light. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!